Are you publishing no content books or low content books? If so, today we're going to be discussing some severe implications when it comes to no content publishing and the state of no content book publishing in general. So make sure you stay tuned. Hey, I'm Dale L. Roberts, a best-selling author, as well as a self-publishing advocate who wants to show you how to publish books that sell. And if you want that too, make sure you click the subscribe, ring the bell notification icon, and click it to all, so that way you don't miss a single one of these videos. Stick around to the end. I'm going to tell you this right there. There's not going to be any fluff on this. All info and even some implications that we need to kind of consider going forward. So without any further ado, let's address the elephant in the room. What is no content book publishing? I got to get this out the way just in case you happen to be new to this channel or new to this specific business of self-publishing no content books. No content books are anything from diaries to journals to planners, anything that's blank. So think like office supplies and stationery. And people are doing it by ways of places like Kindle Direct Publishing and of course the one that we're going to talk about today, IngramSpark. But who is IngramSpark and what is their relationship with Amazon and why does this relate to you? Well, IngramSpark is actually underneath a larger umbrella here of the Ingram Content Group. Now, Ingram Content Group has probably the widest distribution of any self-publishing avenue out there. They've got really great high-quality products. I've actually done some unboxing of their books. Just absolutely stellar stuff. And Ingram Content Group, as they relate to Amazon, this is very interesting. Not too many people realize this, that the expanded distribution option that you have for KDP print books is fulfilled by way of Ingram Content Group. Is that so? So now we've got Ingram Content Group, and then right below them is IngramSpark, of course. IngramSpark released an email yesterday, and it was a bombshell, and it needs to be addressed right now. And what they said was, we will actively remove print content from our catalog that does harm to buyers and affects the reputations of our publishers and retail and library partners. It's fairly innocuous at first, because if you're thinking as a no content book publisher, like, oh, well, this is not anything bad. Well, they kind of go a little bit more further in depth. And I'm just going to highlight about 4 points. They have an entire thing, and I'm going to put the links to some of this information down in the description below. You want to take a look at the release email that they did, as well as the FAQs. So the 4 points that they spoke about is books containing blank pages exceeding 10%, such as notepads, scratch pads, journals, or similar type content. So this means that if you're putting out anything that's blank, that is not nonfiction or fiction, it's not something somebody reads beyond 10% of the book, if it's made up of say 20% or even 100% of blank content, they're like, we don't want it. And so again, hang in there for just a second. There's a good reason why I told you the relationship between IngramSpark and Amazon. The next one was books or content that mirror or mimic popular titles, including without limiting similar covers, cover design, title, author names, or similar type content. So one of the things that has just been blowing up over the past year is the whole no content book publishing craze, and people are just excited about it. And you know, some of them are just kind of dabbling, and that's great that people are dabbling in it, but there are some people that have taken it to extremes where they are uploading anywhere from 100 to 1,000 titles in the course of a week, which is absolutely insane, and especially if you're not even making a profit from it. You're just leveraging each one of these platforms and abusing what's available to you. So I believe in sending out volume, yeah, but it needs to be quality volume, and IngramSpark is kind of saying enough. And the reason why I kind of highlight this specific point is that there are some people that go and look at other books that are on the market and they say, oh, that title's doing well, so why don't I just use the same title and I'll just do a deviation of the cover concept, or a slight deviation of the titling or the keywords or the description. And listen, folks, I totally believe that you should definitely model yourself from the successful, but you shouldn't directly take from people. You shouldn't be putting out content that is exactly the same as someone else's. It makes zero sense. In order to be heard above the noise, you need to put out unique products that better serves the audience. Okay, so the next point is books that are misleading or likely to cause confusion by the buyer, including, without limiting, inaccurate descriptions and cover art. So there are some cheeky books that you'll get out there that are no content books, and it might be all of the best things about Donald Trump, and you open it up and it's blank. There's the joke. That's the punchline, but unfortunately, it's a bit misleading. Yeah, it's funny. It's been done before, time and again, ad nauseum, and Ingram's like, no, enough this misleading stuff. And now this is the one I want to kind of bring the closest attention to, because if you're using someone's services that mass uploads, you probably should definitely take heed and caution to all of what I'm about to say here, because their main one is going to be books created using artificial intelligence or automated processes. What does this mean? All right, I'm going to tell you exactly what they said in their FAQs. It says also referred to as mass uploads and mass production content. An example is content created via automated customization, such as using scripted or coded processes and or templatized content with little to no variation from title to title. Content created in this manner for the purpose of selling via the internet or publisher's website will most likely not be permitted. Content created with identical or nearly identical interiors but varying cover designs en masse will most likely not be permitted as well. So if you've been getting templates, and as I tell people, like, you can get templates, that's great, but you gotta make it your own. You're gonna have to do something different. And too many people are looking for that easy button. They wanna get it just simple. They're like, oh, give me the templates, I'm just gonna go ahead and fire them off. Well, IngramSpark had enough. They had enough of seeing the same stinking interior over and over again, and they were like, no, that's it. Remember, folks, that on the other end of the publishing platform, of the distributors, they're human beings that are going through each one of your titles. So if you're uploading 1,000 of the same interiors over the course of 1 week or even less, that person's getting really sick and tired of having to handle that. And much less if it's not even aiding in increasing their bottom line, because guess what? They're a business. They have to pay their employees. They have to pay their overhead. And when you're doing these mass uploads, you're just abusing the system. So when does this policy take effect anyways? This is actually going to be happening on April 27th, 2020. And they announced this on February the 25th. And they said essentially like, don't try to upload it now because we're not accepting anymore. And we will be taking these titles down as of April the 27th. What does this mean overall? I mean, what does this mean? I'm saying the death of no content publishing, so there needs to be some kind of basis on this one. Now, remember, again, Amazon Expanded Distribution has relation to Ingram Content Group that is run by IngramSpark. I don't think IngramSpark is quietly, doing these rules without processing it through Ingram Content Group, the larger umbrella. This is probably a company-wide thing. And if they're doing this, chances are likely in the behind the scenes things in the Amazon KDP print team, they might be looking at and going, we can do that? Well, that will save us a lot of time and we can go back to the way things were before people were just putting in hundreds of thousands of blank books. So I'm just going to state some implications here. This is my theory. IngramSpark has set a precedent, and there's a good chance that KDP is paying very close mind to this. And Amazon loves to make money. All right? Don't we all? And if you think Amazon's going to be your best friend and are going to go, you know what? Nah, you're good. You go ahead and keep on doing that. It's taken away from our bottom line, but we owe it to you. Amazon owes you nothing. Amazon owes none of us a single thing. It is a privilege for us to actually utilize the platform and leverage it to where we can actually earn a substantial living, or at least a modest living and some income for us. It is not their responsibility to put up no content books. It is not their responsibility. Understand that. So there might be a good chance that there's a change in the air. And you might be saying, but Dale, hang on a second. Your theory seems kind of like hogwash. It's totally cool. I respect your point of view, but I also want to bring to light that I've actually had a number of publishers who've had their KDP accounts terminated. Some great people. Some people that have been in this business for longer than this whole craze of no content book publishing. People who have to feed their family. And they went from making a substantial living to not making it at all. Why? Because now some things are being rolled out in KDP, and it's not necessarily in the policy. What there's happening is they're starting to detect similar content, be it interiors, be it titles, and they're starting to go in and go, nope, 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 and they're starting to close down KDP accounts. So I'm not trying to incite any kind of fear. I want to bring awareness to the fact that if you are abusing the system right now, you may want to stop. You may want to move to the next shiny object because a change is in the air. And I've said this before, back in the days when CreateSpace was the king of the hill and KDP print rolled out in beta, and I speculated. I said CreateSpace is going to go away. And a lot of people thought I was full of crap. Well, I'm going to go ahead and speculate the days of no content book publishing are coming to an end. So what do you do? All right? There's a couple of recommendations I'm going to give you. Is first of all, don't rely on IngramSpark for any distribution of no content or low content books. Just don't even try to test it at this point. It's not worth doing because they've already said no. And so there's a good chance that even getting expanded distribution for your no content, low content books through Amazon KDP is probably coming to an end. So don't even click the box at this point. The next one is do not continue to use mass uploading software without even any differentiation between one product and the next. Okay, you need to actually create a unique product with each one of the uploads. I get it. Look, I've done it before myself, and it seems like, yeah, all right, I got a lot accomplished. I was able to publish this many things. But the bottom line is there's no differentiation. I mean, you got a different cover. I applaud you, but the market needs something better. You need to be more creative. And being creative doesn't mean having to pump out one thing after the other with just slight deviations. And then the next thing is, if you're truly passionate about no content book publishing, might I recommend that you actually start doing it yourself. There is actually a distribution avenue called Lulu, and they also have what's called Lulu Express. Now, Lulu Express actually integrates with Shopify, so you can end up setting up your own website and integrate that with Shopify and Lulu Express. Do your no content books that way, and then you can drive traffic there. And guess what? You're going to profit way more than if you were trying to do it through someone like KDP or IngramSpark, because it's going to be all profit for you. My final thoughts, is this the end? Possibly. This could be really spelling the end of all that we know for no content publishing. And I feel badly for those people out there that are pulling in a substantial amount of money. Be it, a couple $100 per month or a couple grand, or even some people that are pulling in 5 to 6 figures. I'm sorry to hear that. I wish I could change something like that. And I'm hoping that by building awareness that you are starting to understand that self-publishing is so much more than cramming 10 pounds of 5-pound bag. It is way more than that. And when you start to understand and grasp that, you will start to diversify what you're doing in self-publishing and not just relying on one specific type of income. I'm sorry to kind of finish up a video on this. Look, I love no content book publishing. I think it's fantastic. I've got a number of them over here on my shelf. I use them on a regular basis. And I'm sure that you do too. In fact, you know what? We talked a little bit more about no content book publishing in this video series. You're going to click this next video down below if you want some more information. And a lot of this is still hazy. And of course, drop any comments that you have. I'll see you in the next video.